Let me throw one objection at you, Charlie, because I know that there are some pastors out there, and, you know, two of my 5 books are on politics, so I've talked about this on the program quite a bit. But there is an objection out there that goes like this. Charlie, if you get too involved in politics, particularly from the pulpit, you're going to turn people off to the gospel. What do you say?
I mean, I totally disagree. I will agree with one part, or acknowledge that you must have your hierarchies right. Mm-hmm. Your church should not become a political church. It should be a church first and foremost. But my experience tells a different story. My experience of speaking at over 100 churches across America is the more clear and bold a church is on talking about these, they actually see their attendance go up. When you speak at Jack Hibbs' church, they're going to have a seating problem.
Yeah, that's right.
And Jack has been very clear and very bold on these issues. And so, look, I think this is actually a tactic of the enemy to try to get the church to not speak as they should on these issues. And so your heart should never to try to turn people off. But let's pretend the gospel turns somebody off. The gospel is a pretty firm message that you must receive Jesus, and if you do not, eternal damnation awaits you. That could turn somebody off.
Yes.
And so should we not teach the gospel? And so my personal perspective is the church should be less worried about whether or not someone's going to stand up and walk out of their church because they say something, they might hear something they don't agree with, and more worried of whether or not they are pursuing truth. But in a paradoxical way, Frank, the more bold you are and the less you care about your budgets or your big buildings or your tithes, the actual more of those things you're going to get. And I'll say one last thing, which is when we speak at our Turning Point USA Student Action Summit, we have 7,000 students there from across America. About half are Christians. And then they all of a sudden get a sermon and an altar call they've never heard of before. And we have hundreds of kids giving their lives to the Lord. I want to ask any church in the country, are you able to minister to those kids because they never heard your sermons until they come first for politics, and then all of a sudden they get to hear the gospel? I think it's an amazing ministry opportunity as well.